Hi, grade twos. Today we're going to take a look at some graphing, how to make a graph and how to read a graph. A graph is a way to represent data or information. It makes it easier for us to compare our information and to learn new things. We're going to learn about two different types of graphs today. There are lots of other types of graphs too, though. The first type of graph we're going to talk about is a pictograph. A pictograph uses pictures to help us represent our information. This graph tells us along the top that we're looking at people's favorite types of fruit. Then along the side, it says fruit and shows us our options: apples, pears, grapes, and bananas. Each smiley face represents one person's vote about their favorite fruit. We can use this pictograph to help us answer questions about the information. So the first question says, which one has the most? What you're going to do is you're going to take a look at your pictograph and you're going to find the fruit that has the most smiley faces beside it. Which one has the most? I think it's the apples. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 kids picked apples, and that's more than any other one. I know that's true because there are more smiley faces in that box. Which one has the least? I think it's the grapes. The grapes only got 2 votes. It has the least amount of smiley faces in its box. Then we can ask more complicated questions, like how many more people chose bananas than grapes. To answer a question like how many more, you take a look at the shapes they have that are the same. So I see these two are the same and these two are the same, but then all of these other ones are out on their own. So if I count those ones, that will tell me how many more. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 more people chose bananas instead of grapes. That's the same as if I counted all of the smiley faces for bananas, which is 6, and I subtracted the smiley faces for grapes, which is 2. 6 minus 2 is 4. We can also answer questions that ask us to add our numbers together, like how many people picked grapes and pears. You need to count how many people picked the pears and then how many people picked the grapes and add your two numbers together. Here's a different pictograph. I've used the same questions though. So take a look at this. We're looking at students' favorite subjects in school. The choices they gave were math, reading, and social studies. Each picture of a pencil represents one person's vote for their favorite subject. So, which subject has the most? I think it's math, because math has the most pencils beside it. Which one has the least? I think it's social studies, because social studies has the least number of pencils beside it. It only has 3 compared to the others. Now the tricky questions. How many more people chose math than reading? So start by counting how many people chose math. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people that chose math. And I need to subtract how many people chose reading. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can answer this question by going 8 minus 6, or I can look at how many blank spaces there are beside the reading that aren't beside the math. So there's 1 space here and 2 spaces here. I also see 8 minus 6 is 2. So 2 more people chose math than reading. How many people picked reading and social studies? Now we need to add our numbers together. If you remember, there were 6 people who chose reading. Now, how many people chose social studies? 1, 2, 3. 6 plus 3 this time. We need to know how many like both all together. 6 plus 3 makes 9. That's how to answer pictograph questions. The next type of graph is called a bar graph. A bar graph uses numbers along the side and choices along the bottom. This one is people's favorite colors. If I wanted to know how many people liked the color pink, I would want to find the pink along the bottom, and then I would want to go up my bar graph until it gets to the end, and then look over at the number beside it. 5 people. 5 people chose pink as their favorite color. What about green? I'm going to find green along the bottom. I'm going to go all the way up to the top of my bar graph. And then I'm going to follow that line all the way over until I get to a number. 3. 3 people liked green. We can answer all the same questions we answered with pictographs with bar graphs as well. So take a look at the bar graph. Which color has the most? I think it's purple because the purple bar goes the highest. It goes all the way up to 7, and none of the other answers go that high. Which color has the least? I think it's yellow. Yellow is the smallest bar. It only goes up to the number 1. There are no other bars that are that small. How many more people chose purple than green? This is another one where we need to compare the difference. We need to find our purple along the bottom and our green. We can count how many had purple. So I see the purple bar goes all the way up to here and that it's in line with the number 7. Then I see that my green one goes up to here and it's in line with the number 3. So if I go 7 minus 3, that will tell me how many more people liked the purple. 7 minus 3 equals 4. 4 more people liked purple. You can also find the bar that has the smallest number. So purple versus green. The green bar is smaller than the purple bar. And you can count how many lines it takes to get from the green to the purple. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 more people. We can also answer questions like how many people picked pink and yellow together. We're going to find our pink, go to the top of the bar, and look over. It's 5. Then we're going to add it to our yellow number. Find our yellow, go to the top of that bar, and look over. It's a 1. 5 plus 1 equals 6. 6 people liked the pink and the yellow together. Next, we're going to take a look at how to make our own graph. If you choose the worksheet option today, this is what your worksheet will look like. Your first job is to take a look at the question. How many of each pet is there? That tells me that we're going to have to count the pets. So our first job is going to be to count and then fill in the boxes of the bar graph as we go. You can see that the animal choices are along the bottom and the numbers go up along the side. When you're filling in a box, you need to make sure to shade in the entire box, not just put a scribble or a line in it. Bar graphs need to be completely filled in to be accurate. Once you're done filling in the boxes, then we can answer the analysis questions. So let's take a look at how many dogs there are. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dogs. Do you see how I filled in the entire box for each dog? Next, let's count the fish. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fish. Oops, 6, I missed one. Okay, let's count our cats now. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cats. Now we're good to answer the questions about our graph. We've counted the animals and we've shaded in our boxes. Now it's easy to see our information. So, what pet was there the most of? Use the bar graph to find the one that had the most. What pet was there the least of? Take a look at the bar graph and see which bar was the lowest. How many people had fish? You're going to want to use that bar graph. Go to the fish and go all the way up to the number and see which one it lands on. And then the tricky question. How many more people had dogs than cats? We can use our data in the graph to help us answer all of these problems. For today's assignment, you can print off the worksheet and fill it in yourself. You can go on Some Dog and answer the graphing questions.